What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Vargrav, entitled Reign in Supreme Darkness. This is released on Werwolf Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this project, it's based out of Finland, and the best way to describe the sound of this project would be a very traditional, symphonic, misanthropic style of black metal. Yeah. In 2018, I truly believe that this project set a very, very strong mindset in the imaginations of any fan of extreme metal, black metal, or just music in general with their debut full-length album entitled Netherstorm. Listening to that album really truly felt like a cinematic listening experience in terms of the way the album was produced and mixed, the keyboards, the riffs, the drumming, the vocal work. It genuinely felt like you were listening to a black metal record out of the 90s. If you didn't give this album a name or a band name or anything like that, you would swear that this felt like something old school rooted. And this really was and still is an amazing album to listen to. Even more so for the fact that this is just primarily a one-person project, V Chaos. He plays and does everything for this project, and he did a phenomenal job with Netherstorm. And honestly, if I hadn't listened to this album one more time in 2018, I probably wouldn't have put it on my year-end list, but I'm glad that I did, and I still think it is an absolutely important album in Finnish black metal and symphonic black metal in general. But I was curious to know what the next step for Vargrav was going to be, and they started putting out some songs for the upcoming new full-length album. Of course, I really loved the album cover art, and I was pleased, very, very pleased at what I had heard so far. I think the song was Dark Space Dominion. I really enjoyed that song a lot, but I wanted to hear more. And now here we are with the second Vargrav full-length entitled Reign in Supreme Darkness. It's 8 tracks, and it clocks in at around 41 minutes in length, so in comparison to Netherstorm, this is a much more shorter, stripped-back sort of record. But with an album being a little shorter and stripped back, I think that this album definitely feels like the next proper step for Vargrav as far as their sound, as far as the sound quality, the generalship, just overall being a great black metal band. And that is what Reign in Supreme Darkness does. It really does make you appreciate what the genre is about, not just for what it sounds like, but for also the extra little inclusions of symphonic stuff and atmosphere. It's just really, really great. I mean, the intro feels really cinematic and symphonic in its own right, but once you get to songs like The Glory of Eternal Night and Dark Space Dominion going on forward, it just gets better and better every time you listen to it. It has an endless amount of replay value, and that's what makes this album so special. I mean, what can I say about this guy's musical talents that haven't already been said 1,000 times before? This guy is amazing. He really knows how to play his instruments very well. The guitar riffs, the tremolos, the chord progressions and everything on this album just sound amazing. It's beautiful to listen to. The riffs are very powerful throughout this entire record, even to later tracks like As the Shadows Grow Silent, Godless Pandemonium, and the closing track, Arcane Stargazer, which is the longest song on here at about 8 minutes in length. But I think you get a boatload of talent and immense glory once you listen to these guitar riffs and bass undertones. It's just really, really phenomenal. I love what the sound that's being presented here. Everything is played gracefully, played very well, and it's very, very entertaining to listen to. The drum work on here is phenomenal. That was something that really stood out to me a lot about Netherstorm, was the fact that this drum performance sounded so great. I love the blasts. I just love the pace. It's just very, very awesome. I love the fact that every single track on here goes by at a really smooth pace, especially for some of these lengthier, more methodical sort of tracks, but every drum performance on this album sounds phenomenal. Once again, going to the first half of this record with The Glory of Eternal Night and In Streams from Great Mysteries. It's just really, really awesome to hear this drum performance sound as great as it does. And of course, you cannot have a Vargrav record unless you have really, really top-notch keys and synths be included on this album, and it's done in a way that's very tactful and tasteful. I love the way that these synths are used here. It's very, it definitely makes its impact felt, and I feel it's done very right. I love the keys, I love the synths on this record, and it definitely makes you feel like you really are genuinely listening to a Vargrav record or something far back earlier in the old guard sort of times. That's what I feel like when I listen to these keyboards. And when it comes to the vocals, I love the vocal style that's being done here. Very, very raspy, a lot of reverb usage in the vocals. Really well done, very, very well worded and articulated. Love the spoken word stuff that gets peppered in certain parts of this record. I think it only adds to this album's storytelling and mystique, and I just think it's really, really entertaining, this vocal style that's being done throughout this entire record. It's just amazing. So overall, honestly, I think this is a much stronger record than Netherstorm in terms of storytelling, in terms of production, in terms of musicianship. This is a complete and total package sort of record, and I honestly could see this potentially having another spot in my 2019 best of list. So we'll see how far along this album goes, but like I said, this is an album that has an endless amount of replay value, and if you were a fan of Netherstorm, I think you're going to enjoy Reign of Supreme Darkness. You may enjoy it just as much or just even a little bit more. So if I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say The Glory of Eternal Night, Dark Space Dominion, As the Shadows Grow Silent, and Arcane Stargazer. What a great closing track. So what I'll do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Werwolf Records YouTube channel, where I believe this album is streaming in full in its entirety. You can also order it through the Werewolf Records Bandcamp page, but I will also leave you links to where you can purchase physical copies. It is available physically as a CD, digipack, and 12-inch vinyl. There were multiple options for vinyl. I think standard black, royal blue, and there was a glow-in-the-dark vinyl version, but I think everybody bought the glow-in-the-dark version already. I myself ordered the blue vinyl version, and I cannot wait to have it in my hands and play it on my record player, like anybody else should be playing if they already pre-ordered this one. So, again, the album is Reign in Supreme Darkness by Vargrav. This is released on Werewolf Records. Go check this one out. And for a score, I'm feeling a very, very strong 9 out of 10 for this one. Definitely going to be one of the best black metal records in 2019, and pretty much, I hope this thing of black metal projects with symphonics and all this early 90s lore just keeps on coming, because it just sounds awesome. So if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it, and how you think it compares to the previous full length. Or any of you guys into Vargrav, definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Armijo out.